Alrighty then. So I'm going to walk out here in the field. You can see that there's kind of a green tint to it. This was a soybean field that never saw any rain whatsoever during the entire summer. None. The deer ravaged the soybeans. It didn't even harvest them. I just had Teresa VT them in. Now, I had my nephew spin wheat on before I went to England, and then while I was in England, Teresa went ahead and VT'd this all in. And it didn't rain then for a couple weeks, but I am starting to see some new wheat coming up here and there like that. It is coming. Not happy with the emergence, but what are you going to do? So what I'll do here is I will just dig in here a little bit. We ended up putting a fair amount, it's here, a fair amount of lime on this spring, something like 3-4 tons. So yeah, I mean, it's coming. It isn't. Oh, here's another one. So you can see them. They're coming. It did not rain until the other day. We got 4/10. I may be a little bit on the outskirts of the spread pattern. My nephew spread it, so he did use the GPS, but I don't know, for some reason I'm not even seeing seed really, but they're coming. Yeah, they're coming. The crazy thing is I put this in and our corn yields are extremely low, and you know, when you got bills to pay, you can't deal. You can see all the soybeans, they're big and fat, and they'll just become fertilizer for the wheat. I just would like to see some seed that is sprouting. I don't know what the hell happened to it, other than maybe he cut the rate back too far. This could just be a cover crop, I guess. I think it's going to be thick enough, but you know, if you look hard, you can see them. They're there. Because we VT'd them in, then they are. Because we VT'd them in. Oh wait, I just saw one. Something bit it. Oh, there's another big. They're coming. We VT'd them in, so they're not really that. Oh, that's just a grass of some sort. What is that? That's a clump of grass coming. Yeah, we'll be all right. Grain yields were down 36 bushels on beans overall. Less this, I didn't even put it in. Corn, very disappointing, but I'm in good corn now, which is it's all good corn, so it's gonna drag that yield up, and that's very important, to drag that yield up. It was at about 100 bushels to the acre, but now I'm in 170 and I got 200 acres to go. Drought sucks. Drought sucks, and we are going to be over the threshold for crop insurance. We will not be able to receive $1 in crop insurance because we're over the threshold. If you don't know what that is, you have to be below. All right, I just pulled over here. This is one of the other farms. It's really close to the farm, to home. The wind is probably going to be bothering you a bit, so kind of ignore that. You can see out over it, it's got a green tint to it. Yeah, this looks like as good as any. You can see that it was drying up. I don't know if you can. Let me get my camera in the right spot. It was drying up terrible. The tips were done. There's a lot of seed sitting on top of the ground here, which is not great. I don't like to see that. What is this guy doing? There's a sprout here. Sprouted. I don't know what it's going to do, to be honest with you, because we have reached this point where it's either going to grow or it's not. I'd like to see. We did have 4/10 of an inch of rain on this. Why the hell I can't dig in there? You are getting some growth. What's this? No? That's a weed. Here's some seeds. So here's some seeds that were just, I don't know if you can see it, but they're just starting to sprout now. I think they should be farther along than that. But we cover them back up again and go for the, I'm on gimbal. Cover them back up again, and hopefully they get a few days of sun and some warmth. But there's plenty of weed out there. It will be a crop, I'm pretty certain of that. Because it was VT'd in, that's a different, you know, we didn't drill it. I didn't drill it. I didn't want to drill it. It takes too long to drill it. I wish we had got rain when I planted it back in September. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers, and this is what we got. And because the corn yield is low, and the bean yield was low, and the interest rates are high, I'm going to need to harvest a portion of this. Probably, you know, I'm going to pick out the best of what I've got and then go from there. So, yeah, the best of what we've got. And if we don't get it, then we don't get it. That looks good down here, though. Let me flip you around here. You can see it's green. You can see it's green. I'm not happy with it, but there's a lot of purple in it. So when it's purple, it's purple. And you can't really see it too well. It's kind of, not early morning, but it's kind of one of these. Yeah, it'll be all right. We'll see what happens. You know, we got a long way till spring. Long way till spring. So now I'm going to go fix something. I'm sure something's broke.
Click.
Click. All right. The sun is setting on 2024's corn harvest. Bean harvest is long done. Sold, gone to China. Probably getting unloaded right now. Yeah, almost everything went to the port. We went through, and I'm just going to do a recap on this thing. We went through probably the worst drought I've ever went through in my life. Still drought. We've had 4/10 of an inch since September 21st. And that 4/10 of an inch was just the other day. And it was so dry that it made literally no difference at all. If you look at what's going on out front here, I broke the corn planter.
Backwards.
I planted this corn early in the, I planted all night. And this corn, I broke the corn planter row unit, and I didn't even know, but I planted this field and that field over there with a broken row unit. The drought that hit us inhibited the growth of the corn enough that when it did rain, it allowed this foxtail to come up. Just didn't canopy very well. The leaf structure wasn't it just wasn't it just didn't have good leaf structure. The canopy was terrible, obviously, or we wouldn't have these weeds in there. So we have a herbicide failure, kind of a failure. Still yielding okay. I mean, at least it was until we got up into this part of the field. But, yeah. We're not going to average a great yield this year at all. Kind of worried about paying the bills, but you know what? Sometimes when you can't pay your bills, you kind of got to roll them over to next year. And it's okay. It's just one of those things. But, yeah, so I wouldn't wish 2024 on anyone, to be honest with you.
It is.
It is. I mean, the hay yield is down by 3/4 of a ton to the acre. That's just a fact. Corn yield is down by about 40 to 60 bushels per acre on a lot of it. This here is actually some of the better corn. It's better than anything I did down in the southern part of my realm, and this is pretty bad. But what happens though when it gets dry like that, there's no water for the deer, and the deer will come along and they'll bite the tops of the plant off. And when they do that, they just suck the juice out of the damn thing, and then this is what you end up with. This is deer damage. When I put the top dress on, we had gotten rain. This corn looked perfect, except for that one row where it was broken. It looked perfect. All of it, everything that I had this spring, when I top dressed the corn, it looked like I was going to have really a bin buster of a year. But then it dried up. What did we have? 4 weeks of absolutely nothing. Then we got some rain, but by that time it was heat damage. We just didn't have it, right?
Yeah.
100-degree heat, 99-degree heat. We never hit 100 degrees. But
The grain got good test weight though.
The grain is good. I mean,
Oh yeah, the grain.
good.
Yeah, sure.
Not going to complain, because when we did start to get rain, it was at that pivotal moment. It was right before we pollinated. Oh, come on, Wesley. You know what?
What?
Well, I'm just going to knock them all over. To hell with it. Just fuck it. I'm going to knock them all over. Anyway, it was right before pollination. We got some rain. So it pollinated, but then it got hot as hell. And the ears tipped back about that far, about 1 inch to 2 inches. 1.5 to 2 inches on it. And I don't know what, you look at this. What the heck?
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know. It's just whether the deer got into this. There's a path across to the other farm. Who knows? This is a stony part of the farm too. It's just been a tough year. It's been a tough year. I can't make it up. I mean, here's what it is. And crop insurance wouldn't pay me anyway because I'm above the threshold. We're not allowed to do individual farms. The last time, well, they don't want you to do individual farms. You have to do it on the whole. And when you do that, you just never ever get anything out of it. So, yeah. I think if you did it that way originally, then you can still do it at a higher premium, but I don't know, we don't have that luxury now. Yeah, believe it or not, that was still putting over 8,000 pounds of corn into the tank. I mean, it's as ugly as it looks, it's still yielding all right, you know? It's still yielding. Yeah. And that's accurate too, by the way. My moisture is not working. I think I got a blown fuse, and I just haven't done anything with it. But, yeah. As bad as that looks, it's still putting 7,000 pounds in the bin, in the tank, per acre. Now it's going to drop, but it's funny how this, but you see the whole tops of the stalk are gone. That's from the deer. That's from the deer. We're going to work on our deer deterrent program. I got to go buy some electronics. Won't cost too much, maybe $100 to get the first one up and going. Right?
We'll see.
And then we're going to make 40 or 50 of them. $4,000 or $5,000 to save $100,000 worth of crop. There's Peter Cottontail. Yep.
I see.
Anyway, you can shut that off.